Hello. I'm just going to do a little. Uh, Hello, everybody. What we got out there tonight? Uh, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Been kind of a bit hectic as of late, but yeah, thank you everyone for dropping on by. It's a little bright. There we go. So I'm going to be doing a little something different tonight. I just started working on this picture here today. I'm just doing usually do like a drawing and then I ink it up and everything. But today I'm just going to be sticking to the blue drawing. I just want to do just a good old pencil drawing today. So I'm working through StreamYard. Thank you, dude. That's the funny thing. Like a lot of stuff that I do from just my imagination seems to be, more popular than stuff that I do from reference photos, what have you. So I'm trying to stick to maybe work more from. Oh, I'll add you to the stream here, man. Hello.
Dude, that looks fucking awesome, man.
Thanks, dude. How's it
Is
going?
going good, man. Is there any way of making me smaller so your picture is front and center?
Yeah. Let me try to. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
How
perfect.
about
There we go.
that?
Even better. There we
Yeah,
go.
I haven't worked much with StreamYards. I think this is like maybe third time working on here.
Nah, dude,
Oh,
that's
but it
epic,
looks a
man.
lot better. I did it on YouTube before with a different camera, and the quality was pretty bad. But this one looks like it's coming out pretty nicely. I'm looking at YouTube at the same time because I don't have an account with StreamYard. I just use the free version.
Yeah, you can have up to 6 people with
Oh,
it,
okay.
and it
Yeah.
keeps the StreamYard tag up in the top corner.
Oh, yeah. And like you can only do like so many hours per month. It's like 20 hours or something like that.
I'm not too sure. I've done.
Yeah. I saw something in like the account settings or something like that where it says
Ah,
it's like up to 20 hours per month or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I
well, there
could be
you go.
mistaken about that. But yeah, man, how's it going? Been busy?
Yeah, you're trying to be as much as I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Um, what's the story behind this piece?
I have no idea. Like I just started off with hey, what's up? Oh, no, I haven't seen it, Roger Ryder. We need to talk. I know who that is. Yeah, I've what basically I start off with like something like this. These are like drawings from just my imagination. I don't have any reference photos or anything. And what I usually do is I just start off like just a couple of lines and start working from there. So I was actually at yeah at the at the clinic, just sitting down waiting for my turn and just started doodling, and then this kind of image came up, and yeah, I don't know where it came from. Just started drawing it and started filling in, and so I don't know, just like this kind of android robotic kind of man with his little robotic light thing next to him. I don't even know what it is. I just started, I just see it and start drawing it. That's basically what it is. But I saw that you saw like a story that you had in mind.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
did you
Like,
see in it?
okay, so initially, what it was, I looked at the machine behind and how you've got the light coming out of it. It was like it
Yeah.
was um resetting time,
Oh
and
wow.
the parts where the hands are where you haven't fully drawn
Uh
is
huh.
in my mind when I saw that it was that for a reason because it's being unwound. He had
Oh,
it,
that's a cool
there's like
idea.
an egg or a computer chip or a component because it's like it's their child or something. They're trying to
Yeah.
redo it or a loved one or something. I'm not too sure what it was.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I just started writing down this cybernetic uh, type creature
Uh huh.
um, was doing like essentially like a time loop. And
Right.
the more
Right.
and more that they do it, because they were trying to do it with their hands are slowly starting to disintegrate over time
Right.
and becoming
Right.
less corporeal, sort of
Uh
thing.
huh. Uh huh. Ooh, that's a cool idea, man. Like, yeah, like I just go into these with like no kind of, uh, uh, just no like backstory at all. Just start drawing, and then I like it whenever people see stuff and interpret it like that. It's kind of like, hey, what's up, brightest day? Yeah, man, that's an awesome idea. Now I don't want to finish the hands. I might just leave them as they are. That's a really cool idea. I mean, that's the thing that I want to do. Like, I'm not the greatest of writers, but if people could see like the artwork and take off with something like that, that'd be great.
Yeah, as soon as I saw
Yeah,
it, it just popped into my head. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna start writing things
yeah,
down. You know,
yeah,
just
yeah. Go for it, man. If that could be inspiration for a story,
mm.
don't definitely go for it. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say.
I see
Humbled.
Mr. Brightest Day. He's in
Yeah,
the
he's
chat.
in here. Yeah.
Anything
Um.
with robots, Mr. Brightest Day likes that he's into
Oh yeah.
the mechanics.
Oh, I got to take a picture next time I'm there. I just went to Fukuoka. It's like one of the biggest. It's the biggest city in all of Kyushu, and they have a gigantic Gundam place there. Like it's just like
Oh,
Gundam heaven,
well, I know
and
he
it's
likes
just
the
huge.
droid ones. I'm not really big into the Gundam and Gunpla and that sort of stuff, but he was
Yeah, yeah,
explaining the difference between the different ones, and
right.
he was building one, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This place looked pretty. I think it'd be down his alley, but yeah, yeah. Like yeah, it's been a while since I've actually sit down and just draw. I've really been doing like a lot of stuff outside as of late. Uh, I've been neglecting my work duties when it comes to art. I put things in the back burner, which is a bad habit to do, and trying to get back into the to the you know spring of things. But so yeah, this is a good little like way to start it off. But yeah, this is really fun. Just working with this blue pencil and just trying like what I'm teaching at these nursery schools right now. I teach at like 10 of them. And we do like art program, like art lessons. And one of them that we do is we just basically have like random splatters or random like uh, you know kind of random what should we call it? Like we use like bubble wrap and stuff like that just to like
Oh,
random
okay, yep, yeah,
marks.
like
Yeah,
imprint art sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the kids they go in there and they find images and they find their own like they just start drawing all these kind of images like all these kinds of crazy things. And I just tell them, that's kind of how us adults do it as well. We'll just start off with, some lines here or some lines there, or we'll just put down like some kind of crazy, like, wash, and then we'll find something in it. So that's what I kind of do sometimes. And to me, it's like really liberating just to, I'm finding the story in here as I'm going. And it's kind of funny like how you interpreted it as well. It's really cool. But
Yeah, like I
yeah,
mean,
if you want to
even
roll with it,
your
yeah,
negative space told its own story as well. Like that's what I
right.
liked about it with the light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm one problem that I find that I have is I go too much into things. Like I work too much into it. Whereas it's like it's like really. It's like what should we call it? It's like a finicky place. Like, where do I stop? Where do I keep on going? And I
Yeah.
have a habit of like overworking things sometimes, and just I think it's cool too, where you leave things for imagination as well. But
I've
yeah,
noticed. I've noticed, especially when you're doing stuff with a blue pen, and that you have a really good understanding of light and
oh
how
yeah,
light's
yeah,
supposed to fall. And yeah,
right,
it's for me. It's the one thing when it comes to any of my digital art is my
yeah,
biggest thing is I'm no cinematographer,
right,
um, and like I can see what you've done and I can replicate it. But then if I'm doing something on my own thing, I
oh,
can't
okay, okay,
I can't interpret it the same way, even though I know.
right, right, right.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, like you have to have that kind of reference for it, and if somebody's doing the artwork or whatever, then you could replicate that in your own medium.
yeah. Like so, say for
Yeah,
instance, I'm doing the same sort of thing, but I'm doing a digital version, except that the character is looking head on at me.
right,
I
right,
have I
right,
have no reference to where to put the light, even though I know where light should fall. I
right, right.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of this is, yeah, I guess, I'm no master of it or anything, but I just kind of like, I don't know. I try to exaggerate it. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
was,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
especially in a 2D plane, you need to do it
yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah. But like, I mean, even with the subtle things, like you've got those essentially like the lens flare from the middle of that thing
yeah.
that's going up,
That's
and
right. Yeah, yeah,
you've got the smallest little bits, but you still got the harsh outline around
yeah,
the outside of the outside of the sphere,
yeah, yeah,
and it looks like I can see that in my head as a realistic object.
yeah. I wonder what, I, it'd be really cool if you could. Are you into writing stories and everything, man?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that what you do,
absolutely.
or
Yeah,
okay? Like if you find like a story within this and you want to roll with it, go with it, man. Like,
absolutely.
yeah, if what I could do could inspire some ideas, that would be extremely, yeah, completely
Um,
welcome to that.
I like the part of the design where it's somewhat androgynous, where you don't know if it's a mouth like you've got a pouty sort of lips, but that could purely and simply be just an
Yeah,
aesthetic design. Like
yeah,
if this was a real world cyborg creature, I couldn't tell from here whether it was male centric or female centric, and I like that
right.
when it comes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, to robots because
Okay.
they're neither.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And I think that's a really cool aspect of it.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
there's also a reverence. Like I know there's no eyes, but I can see it looking straight down at the whatever that dome is, and I know that it
Yeah, I have
means
no idea what
something.
it is.
Yeah,
It was almost like of course I'm not. Hey, what's up, man? Kitty Draws. Nice to see you here, bud. Um,
yeah.
uh,
I accidentally posted your link into one of our other chats. I meant to do it to a different one, but I posted it to yeah the dump crew. So you probably get a couple of people jump in.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Like more the merrier.
I mean,
Uh,
Mark and he draws. That's another guy who's phenomenal when it comes
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
the shapes and lights. Yeah,
Yeah, I watch him like when he was on a bunch of other streams. I've been out of like the whole loop as of late. I feel like time is just rushing by.
yeah.
And if you're out of it for like a couple of weeks or whatever, it just you feel like you're starting all over again, kind of thing. But I always keep an eye out for whenever he's on a stream. Always enjoy watching him. Uh, yeah, like yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like funny. Like as I was doing this, I kind of it's almost like an Indiana Jones kind of thing. What has he found here?
Yeah,
Just
okay,
some
so
kind of
you went in a completely different direction, and I love that's what I love about it. Like, yeah,
oh
see,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking
like
at this. This is like
mhm.
like it's a discovery, and I'm looking at it like this is the final part for something they've been working on,
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
ages. There's yeah,
Well, see, that's the great thing about it because I'm not really set in stone on what it is. Oh, thanks, Makini. I appreciate that, buddy. Um, like it's up for interpretation because I'm like as I'm drawing it, the story is kind of coming to life. I don't have
yeah.
anything in mind whatsoever, and so yeah, whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool. Let's roll with that. Because
See,
there's a
like
lot more. Yeah.
I saw the
over.
narrowness of the room that they're in. So in my head, I'm like, "Ah, okay, maybe they're in like a shipping crate,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or they're
yeah,
on a
yeah,
train or something like
yeah,
that. You know,
yeah.
it's yeah, and because there's a lot of with your lines, they're all going in certain directions. Maybe there's a lot of movement. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's easy to interpret.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because something I've been challenging myself a lot with lately is working with these environments and putting them in. It's one of my weak points. I know what it like. I know what my weak like some of my weak points are, and that's like creating an environment with my characters. I need to do a lot more like drawing of just spaces, rooms, buildings, and this and that.
Mm,
It's just one thing I'm trying to challenge myself with. But I love having movement. Like I love movement
yeah.
within all my stuff. It's just something that uh, I never really noticed it, but then people started telling me like, "Oh man, I always like feel this kind of movement within your work." And
Well, and that's what I saw. Like even with your lines, like if you look
yeah,
at where your left index finger is, there's a line that's going down, and then it's broken up part of the way down. It
yeah,
looks like it looks like there's movement there.
yeah, yeah,
Like yeah, so yeah,
yeah,
so to me, it seems like there's a lot of forward momentum. So that's why I said
yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah.
a train or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. It's kind of funny because me- there's so much from my subconscious that just comes in here. Things that I've watched recently, or um, maybe something that I saw on a TV show, what have you. And I just got finished watching Dune.
All right. What did you think? What did you think of Dune?
I loved it, man. I loved it. I'm a big like a fan of the books, uh, and I know people have I listened to what you would call it, Thursday Night Throwdown. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, the one
Comics
today. Yeah,
divisions.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thursday
yeah.
night throwdown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I listened to. I even heard your super chat on there today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the things that I liked about it, I'm gonna go watch it again tomorrow because I watched it in IMAX. Um, yeah, thank you, Makini. What I really, really enjoyed about it are like the subtle things. Because I, I was a big fan of the sci-fi TV series as well. I enjoyed that.
I
But
yeah. I'll be honest. I know I watched it, but I don't really remember much of the series.
yeah, yeah, it's. I watched it a long time ago as well, but I remember enjoying it, and I remember enjoying it more than I did the uh, the what is it? David Lynch.
Oh,
Is
so,
it David
okay. Yeah.
Lynch?
So you liked the series more than Lynch's.
Yeah, but I've only watched the Lynch movie once, and I haven't
Okay.
gotten. Yeah, I've only watched it once. So, but I've watched the TV series, and I've read the books, especially the first. I can't remember how many. I've read them, several times. But well, I was going into this movie and I recently reread the first book, and I was going in there going, "Are they going to be able to capture it?" And I felt like they did. I felt like
Yeah.
they captured a lot of what the book had to present in. Um, and I went and watched the movie with a normie, a person who had zero zero knowledge of
Best way
Dune
of doing it.
beforehand, and they loved it. They had a great time. And as soon as the movie was over, they're like, "When's the second one? I want to see the next one." and
So
yeah,
okay, this is a bit of a thing of contention. I actually
go
think
ahead.
this is probably the best Paul that we've seen because he's the closest to the
Oh,
book.
I,
Like,
I I enjoyed. It. I thought his performance was excellent.
yeah.
I was totally into it.
Buddy Momoa. Like, it's shit, what's his name? I always get his name mixed up.
Mahler,
Um, oh my god, not Johnny. Shit, I can't even think of his fucking name now.
which
But yeah, like
is it like a YouTuber?
no, no, no. Jason Momoa's character.
Oh, Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ! I
yeah,
love the fact that this was
yeah.
this was the most Duncan that Duncan could be,
Oh man, this was
and
great.
yeah, and
I,
the fact
I, I
that
I was laughing. I was laughing out loud at like his jokes, his little, quips, like here and there. Like
did
the. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm
sorry,
interrupting.
did you ever watch Stargate Atlantis?
I have. Oh, geez, I watched that. I haven't watched that recently. I watched a bit of it a long time ago,
It was the
but I haven't
closest
watched
that
it.
he's been to Ronan, which was his character in that.
Okay, okay.
And no, I loved it. And the fact of the matter is, like, I mean, I don't know why they focus so heavily on what's her name, Zendaya in the thing.
Uh-huh.
She was barely even in it.
Right,
Yeah, I'm like, she had about as much time on the trailers as she did in the movie.
right, right,
Um, I hated the score. I love the sound work, but I
right.
hated the score.
Yeah, I was for me, I was kind of like I wasn't even paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I was
But
totally into the story, like
yeah,
1000%, and that's why I'm gonna go watch it a second time, and then kind of
oh,
like maybe
dude, you have to. Like, there was
yeah,
so many
oh yeah,
little Easter eggs and different things. Just
yes,
especially
yes,
those long, wide, sweeping shots. You can't
yes.
take any. Yeah, because you
Oh
focus
man, it
in
was.
on the center. Yeah,
And I heard on, and I haven't watched the Lynch version of it like for a long time, but and I heard them on Comics Division's thing today where they were talking about the part where he has to put his hand in the box. I can't remember all the names for it.
yeah,
I thought this one was really gripping as well. I was really like the way that they were close up on the Bene Gesserit's face, um, and she just had that cloth on it that you couldn't really see what was going on with her expressions and everything. Only a little bit, just like little
yeah.
subtleties like that. I really enjoy.
I
Um,
mean, when it comes to
yeah,
showing like anxiety
yeah,
and pain and everything, especially back in
yes,
the 80s, it was a lot more exaggerated. You knew
yeah,
someone was in pain. Like, and
yeah,
now it's because it's all usually ADR and someone just opens their mouth and it's a scream later on. It is a bit different, and jarring, but
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
and I
Uh,
mean, I will preface by saying I hated the score. I think it works for the
uh-huh,
film, but
uh-huh.
I think it's Zimmer's worst score.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because
Like.
he's a musician, and this was
Uh-huh.
purely and simply a sound effects based score.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so for me, like I say again, I was just kind of really I don't think I was really paying attention too much about the score. I was just looking at the music and as like I think somebody else described today. I can't remember if it was Nerd Cookies or not, or if it was Nina Infinity, but just how
The bagpipes part, or
well, yeah, well, not just that part, but the I don't even want to call it like a soundtrack. I just want to call it like the sounds itself were just kind of like a
yeah,
character that were
the sound
it was
editing was
just
fine, but the problem was
yeah
when certain
yeah
things happen, I didn't know if the sounds that we were hearing were happening
uh-huh
in the real world. Like, I know when
oh
there's
okay
music and the music swells
yeah
and we hear something, we know that they don't hear that. But what
okay
happens is
okay
when you hear
oh
croaking
right
and brrr and different things, and then you
yes
see
yeah
people, it looks like people are reacting to it, but then nothing
okay
happens. You're like, wait, was that a
okay
real sound? Like,
oh I didn't think of it like that yeah at all. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna watch this another two times, at least twice, maybe three
well, I
times.
mean, and that
Yeah.
being said, I've only seen it on small screen because I haven't got the
No, no, you
capability
gotta
yet.
go. Yeah,
So, and I
yeah.
know I need to be able to see it on
No, I
a
watched it on
proper.
IMAX, man. And like, if you watch it on IMAX, you're just like, holy shit! Like, you're just the whole time during the movie, the whole time, I just felt like I was there. I was in it and completely absorbed by it to the point where I don't know. I was just. It was like it was an amazing ride for me, man. I had a great time. And it was it was kind of sad. The person I went with hadn't seen Dune, like hadn't read Dune, didn't know anything about it, and I was just going into like the little aspects about it, like the subtleties and these small things here and there about how they captured this and that. And it's like I can't believe they got this, or and then I started going to like the history of it, and everything, and of the
So
world itself. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and that was the
yeah,
thing. That was the thing that took me a while. I was just like, okay, so they're going quite heavy into the world building early on.
yes, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so yeah, for me, I oh man, I would I know this sounds really like I'm very probably not looking at this as critical as I should, but I had such a great time that I just I went out of it. The only thing that I could have a little bit of critique about, because I really didn't. I was I think being in IMAX and having that music and the sounds and everything. it was freaky. It was freaky, and it just kind of it just added to the mood to the point where I would have to go back again, and maybe I could be more critical of it next time because I've only viewed it once, and I was
I
just like
mean,
this is the first time in a very long time I've gone to a movie and had such a great time. You know what I mean?
if that's the worst
Yeah,
case scenario for a movie going to the
yeah,
cinemas, I think it's been good in a long time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
while I absolutely think it's probably the best film that's come out in a while, there was
yeah,
part of me that was like, I mean, I love the film, but I knew it was just going to stop, and I know
yeah,
that because they're doing the time jump essentially in real
yeah.
time, so we're
Right,
not going to get the other one until like 2024, 25. Like,
right, right.
um, and I mean, I'll be
Um,
honest with what's his name, the young fella that was playing Paul. Now, I was just like,
yeah.
this isn't going to work. Um,
Oh, right. With
but
him getting
everything
older.
about it, like
Yeah.
motivations for characters,
Uh
the
huh.
way
Uh
in
huh.
which they treated each other. Like
Right.
even when he was it slow on attack, fast on defense.
Uh huh.
They explored the whole idea of combat with shields
Uh huh.
versus what they did compared to Lynch's. And
Uh huh.
because I I know I've read either one book or part of a book when I was younger, but
Uh
I
huh.
have no real recollection of it.
Right.
Um, so I'm not a book puritan or
Right.
anything
Right.
like that. Um, but what I do remember was um, how weak and frail Paul was like, and it's a proper
Yes. Yes.
hero's
Yeah.
journey,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's is it weird that we're getting a trope that's been around for 110 years, and I find it refreshing.
I know, and it's such a well. It's if you got a good thing, you might as well roll with it. And it is such a it's refreshing. It's really really refreshing, and that was a great thing to see within the movie itself too. Like this the what is it called hero's journey, the character arc, right? He's got an actual arc, right? He doesn't start off with all
Yeah,
these powers. You feel the frustration. And the one thing that I really liked about that I didn't hear a whole lot talked about was the relationship between Paul and his mother. Um,
yeah.
it was fantastic, uh, especially the
I think the relationships between Paul and everyone, like, and here's the
yeah
thing, they
yeah
focus. This is his movie.
it's his movie
That's
yeah
yeah, that's the one thing
yeah
compared to the other. There is very little side character development in
yeah
comparison to
yeah
yeah.
yeah
Um, but he's not this uh Jesus like Messiah sort of Neo type character.
right. He's got
Um,
flaws.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah
but
yeah
not just that he has flaws. He's everything that he's going to do. He has to earn. There's no hidden power within him,
right
sort of thing. Like even though there is, it's the way in which they show it. It's not like he's he was way better. I think for me that and I said it to someone the other. I said like just keep giving Batista roles because I think that everything that he's doing, he's only going to get better. Don't
oh
give
yeah
him
yeah
these silly
yeah
roles. Just give him roles like this. Give him roles like fucking uh, Blade Runner. Um,
oh
you
okay
know,
yeah 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 yeah
give him a bit of meat to bite onto.
uh-huh 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 uh-huh
Um,
yep
yeah, no,
yeah
I mean,
that's a oh go ahead sorry
yeah, sorry, there's very few people in it that I didn't believe their motivations, and it's been a while since.
exactly yes you felt it man they were into the characters they were into the roles they were uh yeah they were like definitely they had done the research uh they weren't like just what should we call it throwing in their B game they were throwing in their A game there were I know I sound like a really like excited little schoolboy or whatever. It's just on the playground. But I just had such a great time at it. There was so many things that I enjoyed about it that I don't know. I'm
But I
glad to
mean,
hear positive and
that's a
negative.
good
Like
problem to have. That's a
It's a
good
great
problem
problem.
to
Yeah.
have. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And I love how people are having like, arguments about, the score and everything. And that's great. That's what you should be arguing about,
but I mean,
Not
here's the
whether
thing.
the underlying message is trying to attack the meritocracy or something of the sort.
No,
Uh,
literally, that's what I was going to say. There was how
yeah.
many opportunities could they have done that?
Oh, yeah, a
Yeah,
ton. I mean, doesn't I think the way they portrayed the Bene Gesserits too is really dark and menacing.
that was yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, the costume design was freaking outstanding. Like those big, huge black kind of veils they had on their heads. That was so ominous. I'm getting too excited about this. Yeah, but so after I watched Dune, I was thinking the person I went with saw this and they said, "Oh, is that Dune?" I was like, "I don't know, maybe. Who knows? It could have
Hmm.
influenced it." Yeah, some kind of
I mean, apart
yeah,
from because the whole computer
yes,
non-computer
yes,
not
yeah.
is such an interesting thing, and
Isn't it though? Yeah,
like it's always weird that you've got this hyper technology and they're attacking it with swords and spears and everything
yes,
and
yes,
blow darts and
yes.
like it's just
So
and
primal and archaic.
no, but the weird thing is
Yeah,
how it's explaining everything.
yeah,
It works and it makes sense, and
yeah,
I agree with it.
yes.
Oh, okay. So what are you doing with that arm? With that arm there? Is that some
These are
sort
like
of
chords.
cord? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like, yeah. So it's kind of like I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. Like whenever
yeah.
it comes to my drawings, I know this sounds dumb. I don't put too much thought into them. I just go with what I see. I don't double. I don't double. Like people ask me like how I draw fast and paint fast is because I don't second guess myself.
No, no, I know that because you'll
Yeah,
be focusing on one thing here, and there'll be a little bit of an edge that I'm like, okay, you're going to finish that edge, and then you'll stop and you go to a completely different thing, and then you'll
yeah,
bounce around, and then later on
yeah.
you'll go back and you'll start doing that edge again, and then you'll move back. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, what I consider is I consider it a whole.
hmm
Whenever I'm doing a picture, any kind of picture, I don't complete one place at a time. I allow the picture to kind of come to life and build up. That way, you can make decisions of whether or not you want to, leave it like that or go in further. And it's just like the whole trying not to overwork it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the the exact opposite the way that I do it. If I can complete one area, I do it. Like,
yeah. I
yeah,
teach my students too to do it that way as well. I mean, it's up to them whether or not they want to choose that venue. But where did I think I heard a professor talk about it like that before. Maybe I was dreaming about it. I don't know if it's real or not, but that's what I heard, and that's kind of like, oh, thanks, Mankini. I really
oh,
appreciate this. I
all
sent
right,
you a
I'll have a
DM.
look.
Oh, Grant, is that you? Oh, Grant. Of
Yeah,
course it is. Uh, oh, yeah, is that for me? Jinja, yes, let me know if you want to draw with this, make it live. This, hey, man, I'd be up for it. Totally. Um, yeah, that'd be awesome. Wow. Woohoo. Yeah, I'd totally be on for that. Up for that. Um, cool. This is great. Glad I hopped on tonight, man. Sometimes I told you my DMs. I've been in a funk as of late, and it's just kind of whenever you're in a funk, it's difficult to just break out the pencils and the paints and kind of like work with stuff. But tonight was one of those nights where I forced myself. I was like, it was good too that you asked me like, when are you going to go on? Because I've been wanting to lately. I've been wanting to go on.
yeah.
Uh,
It was because like
yeah,
I knew that you were thinking you're dealing with your own things and that,
yeah,
and then when I was just like, okay, cool. So are you going on because you can let's pump it out. Let's get people in
yeah,
there, and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like out of the blue, so people didn't have time to really get ready for it. But the people here, I really always appreciate just even if it's just one person, two people, nobody at all. Like you know what I mean? It's always great when people show up and come check it out. And yeah, like I just need to keep consistent with it, get my ass to work on other things as well. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah, I like that idea about keeping these hands free. Um, I like your time concept as well. I didn't really know what was going on here. I was just like, okay, it looks like there's discovered something. I didn't know what it was going to be, but now that you're saying that, like that sounds like a really awesome idea. You
Yeah,
mind if I
because
steal that?
it's like time's moving differently, and
Yeah, yeah,
they're able to physically do something like there's like a time limit to be able to like open a sphere or contain it or something, and they
right.
do their hands are moving. That's why their arms are full of cords now, because
Right, because it's
they tried it mechanically, it didn't work, and maybe it's them trying to bring something back, maybe trying to bring something forth. Like, yeah,
uh,
there's so many, and
possibilities.
the fact that it's surrounded by light usually indicates that it's something good and pure,
Uh-huh.
versus something nefarious. So
Right.
that's why I was just like, maybe it was, um, maybe wanting to have, you know, an offspring or bringing someone back that's passed, or just at least holding on to the last fragment of something that
Wow.
you lost.
Man,
You know,
that's deep, dude.
um,
I love
did
it.
did you watch you watched Stargate SG-1?
Man, the only I haven't gone into much Stargate at all, to be honest. I watched the movie and I watched some of the series way back when, um, uh, and it's been a long time. I'm actually starting into Babylon 5 now
Oh,
because,
dude.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm getting into that. There's so much that I missed out. But I've seen a lot, but I just haven't. There's been a lot I just missed out on, and I've been listening to people's recommendations and everything. So Babylon 5. I'm going to get into that. I just got finished watching Squid Game today.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, what did you think about that?
Um, I liked almost all of it. I
Uh
just
huh.
didn't like the fact that they're setting up for a season two, because I don't think it needs it.
Yeah.
I
Um.
think it's for what it was.
Yeah.
Um, it's almost perfect
Right. Right.
for what it was, but
Right.
I can't say that because I know there's been a lot of issues with the subbing and the dubbing.
Right. Right.
I've watched the sub
Uh huh.
and I've watched the dub, and they are
Yeah.
different to each other. And
Yeah.
from what I've told, they are both wrong.
Right.
Um,
So what happens there is because I've seen a lot of dubbing and subbing here in Japan. What happens is they do that's actually a lot of that's done on purpose because they can't fit that amount of dialogue into subtitles. So what they'll
yeah,
do is they'll change the subtitles to accommodate for that length of a dialogue. They just do that all the time here in Japan as well. I see it in the movies when I go watch the movies because all the movies I watch have subtitles on them.
yeah,
And you'll listen to like the dialogue and you look at the subtitles like, yep, they didn't put a lot of what they just said in there. It's because they have to consolidate it because of our ability to be able to read things at that pace.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And
some things get lost.
especially with
Yeah.
a lot of the complex languages as well.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I I enjoyed the characters.
Hmm.
I instantly hated the main character 456. Um,
Yep.
not because of what he's, because I'm like, this is, I hate this trope. A freaking, oh, a bad dad and everything, blah blah blah. But that was
Yeah.
the reason why he was picked as the main character,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because of that. And you see
Yep.
certain things like, and for me, the first time that I'm like, wait a minute, this guy isn't what you think, is when he runs into the other chick that
Right.
that's in Squid Game, and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
right. Right.
sorry, kid, sorry." You're like, I'm like, dude, you're on the run and you're worrying about some kid,
Right.
but
Right.
it wasn't something like, it wasn't disingenuous.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
no,
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Are you talking about the time where he runs into the girl at the horse track?
Yes, yeah,
And then she ends up later telling him, "You've got a good heart, and this isn't you." That was a really
yeah.
compelling. Oh man,
I
yeah,
don't know. Here's the thing: like a lot of the stuff, I've got uh, a friend who had spent plenty of time in Seoul, and he's
uh-huh.
not great at translation,
Right,
but he's fluent enough to be able to. And he was telling me all the stuff when the guy was doing the investigation.
yeah,
about what stuff was saying that his Gihan's brother was actually a cop and got done for
Okay, yeah.
corruption. They
Uh-huh.
were partners at one stage.
Right.
Yeah, and stuff that it's never said or anything in there.
Right.
And he was done for corruption on something, and it was they couldn't quite tell because the text was cut off, but it was essentially like he might not have been corrupt, but they had to get rid of him anyway.
Okay, okay, okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe he was really straight laced. That's why he has this huge problem with the thing, and he found a system that was fair.
Right.
So it adds a lot more layers and depth to the character.
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. I got you
But
there.
you don't pick up on any of that. And the only reason why I knew that is because it was translated for me.
Wow. Okay, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of subtleties I think to get lost within, especially all the text that you can't read, and yeah, just little nuances here and there, cultural, and yeah,
Yeah,
things are just
and
left out. Yeah.
they were saying a lot of the stuff with uh, I just call the crazy woman.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the dialogue was completely off because she was being very uh, nuanced, but
Uh huh.
there was no way of she was saying words and phrases and terms that have no real world translation
Uh
in
huh.
anything. But the closest one they could translate it to was like a French saying and then translate it to English.
Okay, okay.
Um, like she never said that, if you betray me, I'll kill you, sort of thing. It's
Hmm.
just like she was saying that we're always going to die together because at this moment she
Okay,
was,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because of the way that she took him out in the on the
yeah,
glass walkway, whatever you would call that
yeah. She was
bridge.
like, I always knew you would be the sort of person that I'd, and that's the reason why he turns on her so quick. It wasn't that he was just looking for men and then not wanting nothing to do with them because he was smarter than that.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right. Was this series released weekly or was it just dumped out there?
I think I'm not too sure. I only watched it the other week, so I think it was dumped all at
Yeah.
once.
Man, that's the thing. I agree with Gary 100%. These kind of series should be released like weekly because that would allow for so much more in-depth like dissection of the each episode
Yeah,
and create this
I
kind
agree.
of
Amazon has the
a
best model for that. They drop
yeah.
3 episodes, the first
Uh-huh.
three, and then do weekly. I think that's the
Yeah.
perfect model.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Um,
Yeah, I need to go back and watch. It's funny. Like, I don't know what people like. Like, some people probably get enjoyment out of like the whole kind of like gore or kind of like uh, that kind of the terror part about it. All the people falling off of bridges and dying in gruesome ways and what have you. But for me, the whole series, like the human nature and the relationships between the characters. Um, that for me, that was the gold part of it, and just all those like the games itself were just like a side thing to me. To me,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean the direct because I mean this was made before the whole pandemic thing was happening.
yeah,
So um, this was supposed to be a anti-capitalistic sort of message, but it ended up being the opposite.
right, yeah. I
Um,
didn't,
like I enjoyed the facets of everyone's equal in there, but they're not. Like you're preaching this thing about everyone has to be equal, yet
hmm
Gihan is the one who's protected. And also, there's another thing. Remember when it was the marble picking one, and
right,
he quote unquote wet himself. There was an empty
yeah.
bottle next to him at the
Oh,
time, and not only that,
wow,
he gives him his 001 jacket, and he
uh
says,
huh,
"It's right here. You better wear this, just so people realize that you are actually important."
right, right.
And then
Oh,
he
wow, that
and
makes
remember,
sense
because
now.
if that was the case, because he was going to be the one that no one picked,
Right,
so he was going to be the one that survived. Because remember, when Crazy Lady didn't get
yeah,
picked, she still survived.
uh huh, uh huh.
Um,
Oh wow, man! There's so many things. You know what? I need to talk to somebody like you about it because I was watching it on my own. I watched it all basically like 3 days, and I was
I
like
watched
going,
it in an afternoon.
"Oh my god!"
I watched it at 12 o'clock when it
Uh-huh.
started, and then by 10 o'clock that night I had finished it.
Yeah, because I know there's so many subtleties, so many things like little things like that that I missed out on. Yeah, dude. Oh man, that makes so much. I need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
those interactions.
yeah,
And I knew he was fake in that episode 6 one. I
uh-huh.
knew he was faking, um, the
Oh, his
dementia.
dementia. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
There's this one part where he basically said, "You don't like want to trick a friend like that."
yeah, no, yeah, that was the last part. And I
Yeah,
like the fact when he said, "Oh, how about everything, fair as all friends would be." And I'm like, yeah, he's definitely fully aware of what's going on.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then when he says no, I'm like, I get it. I understand from both perspectives because he's just like, we have to do this. I don't want to die, and he's only thinking about living. And that's it's not greed. It's survival.
Exactly.
Um,
Survival. Yeah.
and for me, I think his turning point.
Hmm. Are you talking about four, five,
Um,
six?
yeah, four five. I think 4, 5, 6 turning point wasn't that because I think that was his lowest point.
Uh huh.
Because if 001 or Gian turned around
Right.
and started having a go at him, he gave him a way out.
Uh huh.
Um, and it's actually someone pointed out the other day, it's like, you know, if the Pakistani fella wasn't there, 456 is dead in the first one
Right.
because he catches him midair.
Yes. 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 Oh
Yeah,
man, that whole dude. The whole scene where he had the rocks around his neck. You knew
yeah.
it was happening. Ah, poor guy. That was
No,
a
I mean, but this
yeah,
thing, like, I understand why that guy did that, and I get his motive,
yeah.
but I don't get the whole honeycomb thing. Why did he not like? Why was he so determined to kill his best friend? That was
Right.
the only thing I never understood why he was like that.
Hmm.
And there was no real purpose to him. Like maybe oh well, I know all the people are gonna do it and they're gonna die, but like why do it to your core people?
Right. Right.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah. I was. Now you're talking about the. I'm sorry. Oh man, all the numbers. I just got finished watching it. I'm still confused with all the
Okay,
numbers and
so
everything.
I think it
Yeah,
was like
you're talking about.
the honeycomb episode
Yeah.
where there's the
Yeah.
shapes and they start
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
when he
he
figured out
didn't
what it
tell him
was.
that the umbrella because he was like going to stop him from going to the umbrella place, right?
Mm,
But he didn't, and he could have,
mm.
but he decided not to. Yeah. What was the purpose of? Yeah. It's
Yeah, it was. I think that was designed to purely show that he was a shifty prick. But
yeah.
then
That's what I got from it. Yeah.
but then when he didn't say anything to him,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hmm,
Oh, when 456 didn't say anything to him afterwards, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. See, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking maybe he's giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, I think that the guy knew what was going on, but I'm gonna try to like, give him the benefit of the doubt and give him more chances, or not jump to the conclusion that the guy was trying to hurt me. That's what I got from it. I could be wrong
yeah.
though.
It was
Yeah, that was kind of like one of those awkward moments where, but I think Uh, maybe the character. I'm gonna get the names wrong. The guy who didn't talk to him, right? The guy who didn't tell him that it was an umbrella. What was his name?
sorry, which guy?
The guy that the last guy that ended up with
His
the,
mate,
yeah, yeah, his mate. What's his
Shen
name?
Sun Wu or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What
No,
was his number?
I'm gonna bring up. Actually, here's the thing. That was one of the ones that was really weird because I had no idea what his number was. I knew everyone else's number, but I just didn't know his because they never refer to him as that.
They never referred to him as what?
They didn't refer to him by his number. Like when people were talking,
Right.
Chu Sung Woo.
Chu Sang Woo. Okay, Chu Sang
Yeah.
Woo. I need to write these names down. Chu Sang Woo. And then the main character's name was
Song Gi Han.
Sung Gi Han. It's so bad because I just remember him by his number.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what the majority of people were calling him.
Yeah,
And
406.
then you got Sung K Byuk.
It was 67, right?
I'm not too sure. I don't. I just remembered that.
I'm pretty sure she was, yeah. Uh, yeah, she was like she's
She
escaped from
was.
North Korea.
Yeah, she was in Australia. And then you got the Il Nam is Il Nam is the main is 001.
Okay, yeah, that's the old guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had shit, what's his fucking name? Um, from Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Um, as the guy, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's going to be a huge part of it. And he was barely even in it.
Which guy was that?
He
I
was the guy
never.
that was doing the flipping of the papers. He was the guy that got them there.
Okay. Yes, him. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Um,
So that last part of the very last episode, do you think he was there on purpose because he knew that uh, Sung Hoon, what was his name? Gyung was
Sung
going to
Gi
be
Han.
there. Sung Gi Han was going to be there.
No, I genuinely don't think he was there. But I think when he noticed him, he
Yeah.
was thinking, because I'm interested to know what his role is. Is he related to Il Nam?
Right.
Is he another former winner? Like,
Right. That's what I thought. Like the okay now. I need to go back and watch all this again. But the guy, the mask, the 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 brother of the police officer.
yeah,
So he was a former winner, right?
yes, he was. He
Yeah.
won in. I think they said it was. Is it within like because he
2015 or 14?
yeah 2015. So he
Yeah.
came back and then lived a
Yeah.
normal life and
Right.
then disappeared just this time and then forgot to pay rent. Like, it's really weird that he this one time now forgot to pay rent. Is this the
Hmm.
first time it's him being the front man?
Right. The
Like,
front man. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. Like, it
Yeah.
was.
So there's some things that are unanswered. Well, I like that though. You get a hello, Captain Trek. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Um, yeah, there's things that are kind of left, you know, untold, and I kind of like that. You got to use your own. You got to think about it, have a talk with your friends. But yeah, it
I
was
mean,
weird how like when he was looking at the reflection and he saw his brother as well. Remember that?
yeah, I don't. And this is the thing, like that could be a South Korean cinema trope that I don't know.
Uh huh.
Where, if it was, a Western sort of world sort of thing, we would understand it. I'm not too sure what that is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that as well. Like, did he see his brother in him, or I mean, whenever you see something like that, you think, okay, he sees part of his brother in him. Is that's from? Uh, did he? I don't know. I didn't know what was going on there.
um,
It seemed more
this
metaphorical
is
than it did
something that I
literal.
also picked up on was really weird. Do you think the people who were the English speaking actors in it, do you think they actually knew how to speak English? Because they spoke it
Oh,
really
yes,
weird.
yes. What happens? This happens in Japan. It's the same thing that happens in Japan. What they do is they get people who. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. Um, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. What they do is they get like here. It happens the same thing in Japan. Whenever they have English speaking roles, what they'll do is they'll bring in like the Gainojin, which are um, uh, the oh my gosh, what is it called? like the entertainers, the people who are like celebrities, TV celebrities, they'll bring them on as actors,
Okay.
and their acting ability isn't good. And what will happen is to the Japanese person or to the Korean person, they won't notice that their English sounds awkward because they're not really professional actors. And
Yeah.
I
It was
guarantee
just
that
weird.
some of
It's
those
like,
people are
oh
actually
yeah,
on Korean
what are you
TV.
doing? I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought it was a dub, but then I went back and looked at it. I'm like, no, they're actually saying that.
Yeah. So what I
Yeah.
think it is you see the same thing happen here in Japan because I noticed people were kind of like they weren't really liking that aspect of it, and it happens here in Japan too. It happens in movies, and like big movies here, they'll bring in um, English speaking celebrities um, who are always on TV, just like on talk shows or what have you, who really don't have any kind of professional acting ability. And I guess what will happen is maybe their agent or whatever will work with the movie, and they're like, okay, we need somebody who's an English speaker. We can't really go out to Hollywood and get actors and actresses, and there's not really a big, huge English speaking, you know, uh, there's not that well to dip from here. You know what I mean? In the country of
Yeah.
native English speaker actors and actresses, it's just not there. So what they do is they take the celebrities who are on TV who could usually speak Japanese and English, or in this case, maybe Korean and their native language, and they'll put them in the movie or the TV show.
It was like how they got John Cena to do a whole heap of stuff in China in the
Yeah, well,
last
they
few
do
years
that.
because yeah,
Yeah, they do that stuff here. Like if you watch all the commercials, they have like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Tom Cruise, blah 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 blah, doing commercials over here. Actually, one of the biggest ones is what's his face? Oh shoot, why am I forgetting his name? Oh, the guy from No Country for Old Men, for Men. Um,
Josh Brolin,
no, he was the police officer,
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
He's on so many commercials here. Hello, Janet. How's it going? Uh, so what happens is to get a Hollywood level actor or actress in a Japanese movie that is produced in Japan, or a Korean movie that's produced in Korea, or a TV show or somewhat. I think it's very expensive and it goes outside of their budget, and it's just inconvenient. So they go with whatever's available from their entertainment. That's just what I've like. That's what I've observed here in
yeah.
Japan, and there's a lot of similarities between Japanese, the entertainment scene, and in Japan as well. Like you know, so that's where that happened. And as soon as I saw it and heard it, I knew what everybody's qualm was about it. But I'm kind of used to seeing that stuff over here, to where I was like, I can kind of ignore it because I know what's going on. But yeah, it kind of does take you out of the whole uh, atmosphere of it. It takes you out of that world.
What was weird because I was because I'm constantly reading the subtitles because I don't I'm not a huge fan of dubs.
Yeah,
So I'm reading the subtitles and then I'm reading it and then I'm maybe 4 or 5 sentences in and I'm like, wait a minute, that's in English,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, they
Um,
had one guy who sounded like he was Russian, or he was European, Eastern
yeah, it's like, oh
European.
come on, let's get back to the game. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's just I think it just comes back to they have really bad acting skills as well. They're
yeah,
just not actors. They're not professional. And what they'll do is and whenever you have um, like the front man, his English was good, and it didn't sound like even though he was speaking broken English, he's an actor, so he could pull it off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas the other guys, they just didn't sound like professional actors.
Even the his brother.
Yeah, even the cop. Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, and that was the one when he was talking.
Well, do you want to know?
And he's like,
Do you know what?
and he's doing it in a
Yeah,
real heavy accent. I'm like, wait a minute, that's English,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Here's a funny fact. I think. Oh, what are the numbers? I can't remember how much it is, but Japan, on the whole, spends a ton more money on English education than
Mm.
South Korea does. But South Korea's English proficiency is just blows Japan out of the water. Like the South Koreans, their English proficiency is so much higher than Japanese people
And so
are.
is their ability at StarCraft.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's one aspect of the and I believe they were only like what in 2 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, just two.
Yeah, they're in episode 7, which was VIPs.
Yeah, and then
They're in the
8.
next one. I can't remember if they were in the last. Yeah, they were in the last one. Yeah, so they're in 3.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are 3. Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, but yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of contrivances with his brother. Like he
yeah,
always just happened to fall into the right thing, but he was doing the right thing at the same time. And
right.
it's, and I mean, obviously he's still alive because he was shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, they kind of leave that open,
Yeah.
and yeah. If you don't see the dead body, that means they're still alive.
Well, I mean, this series clearly proved it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, like because it sounds like for this next one, he's going there not to participate in the games, but to kind of take them down.
Well, I
Sungi,
mean, this is
yeah,
the thing we don't know. Like, there could be a because we don't know much about the brother who
right,
who won. You know,
right, right.
he went from 5 years
Uh huh.
to also when they had to 2015, there was only 2 binders
Uh
as
huh.
well,
Uh huh.
and with the 2021, which was the one that we were watching, there was 8.
Right. There was a ton of them.
There was 8 of them, and then it looked
Yeah.
like there was ones above them. So we
Uh
don't
huh.
know if that was the whole thing. And also, the funny thing about it was pointed out when he opens up the first page, it starts with 002, not 001,
Uh huh.
because
Oh.
why would Ilnam need a file on himself?
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. You've dissected this, man. You've looked into it really
Oh, I've seen a
thoroughly.
few videos of different things, and we've
Yeah.
discussed it with other people. And
Yeah. What I did is I stayed away from all of the spoilers and all the videos, and I just went in there completely raw. Like didn't know
yeah,
anything about
no,
it.
I saw a picture of the woman screaming that had blood on her face from the first
Yep.
episode,
Yep.
and everyone dressed in the same thing, and I thought it was like a Hunger Games sort of thing
Right.
or a
Right.
battle royale.
Right. Oh, do you remember
Yeah,
the coffin where the person's hand was coming out of it? Was that the
yeah.
girl zombie that they were referring to?
No. Okay, so
That's what I thought it was. Weird.
no, what they were referring to was a previous one.
Uh huh.
Um, because it wasn't until after then when they started putting the crosses on them.
Right.
Um, because we didn't see the Doctor doing other stuff, and it was implied that this was the first time that he was doing it. When
Okay.
he's in there,
Okay.
he said like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need some sort of advantage.
Uh huh.
And if you're already getting advantages, why would you say that? So the first time
Okay.
we hear the Doctor dissecting was the first time it happened, which was the
Okay.
first time that 29 wasn't there,
Okay.
because it was directly after Honeycomb.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was a previous scenario, and
Right.
because they were saying that they're taking kidneys and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
um, the copper assumed that it was his brother
Right.
because he gave up a kidney as well, and the translation was a bit weird. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but no, the one who had the hands come through at the end of that first or second episode, or beginning of the
Right.
second episode, that was actually a guy,
Oh, it was
because
a
there was a
guy.
guy that
Okay.
was still at the end of the first episode was
Uh huh.
still crawling towards the back under the body.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
from what I can gather.
Okay.
Um,
For some reason, when I looked at it, I saw a woman's finger for some reason, but I
and you
didn't
know
really
what?
go back and check it out.
It might have been, but it was a very deep groan.
Right.
All right, give me a second, buddy.
Oh, no problem.
Right.
Hello, everybody out there. Thanks for dropping by. Janet, see you there. Thank you. Sherry. And let's see who else. Captain Shrek. Makini, you're out all right now, but I think thank you for dropping by. And yeah, we're doing this on StreamYards tonight. So, because Mr. Grant Gregor, what he was really liking the drawing, and he actually came up with this cool story. And we were just talking earlier about how I'm just using my blue pencil to draw tonight, and yeah, these are just details. And he really liked how it looked like some kind of time manipulation was being done. And he's a better writer and storyteller than I am. I just do the drawings. Let's see. Yeah, I just got finished watching the show today, and I was staying away from all kinds of spoilers and everything. And I haven't watched anybody's review of it. I haven't watched any kind of like um, breakdown or anything of the sort. So this conversation is it's really helping me out a lot. Mr. Grant Gregory just filling me in on everything here. He's really got an eye for it. Where am I looking at? Um, oh, oops. Um, no. Let's see. All right. Okay. So yeah, what uh, Grant saw in here was the way he was explaining it. It's crazy because when I'm doing this drawing, I'm just, I don't second guess. I just draw what I is coming to mind. No, not coming to mind, but just well, yeah, it's kind of like a uh, what I see and hear and what kind of imagining at the same time. It's just kind of like what have you. Hey, welcome back, man. Is the baby okay? Is that
Yeah,
baby?
yeah, no, she's right. She's just, yeah,
How old is?
she's 2.
Oh, cool, there you go. Must be
Yeah, she's, yeah. She rolls over, dummy comes out, she gets upset.
cute. uh, is that your only kid?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. Well, welcome to Father World.
yeah, my pride and joy.
There you go. Our greatest creations.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh man. Uh, well, yeah, I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh yeah, the person in the coffin. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was like, from me, it was quite a deep groan.
Uh
It
huh.
doesn't necessarily mean that it was male, but that's in my head. That's what it
Yeah.
was. The only reason why I remember that is because I was doing the edit for Geeks and Gamers
Uh
for
huh.
the Tuesday night main event,
Oh, you
and
good work on those, by the way, man. Those are amazing.
oh, you
You're
saw
a
it. Okay, cool.
pro.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
You're a pro.
I mean, that's the thing. I can do that sort of stuff. I can take something and manipulate it, but
That's a
creating
skill.
something from scratch like you do on a blank, it's just that's why I'm envious of what you can do, because you can take something with your
Yeah.
mind and your hands and create something from nothing. If there's
Yeah.
something that exists, I can turn it and change it into something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a skill in itself, though, man. Like Perry Chan and you, and I mean, I can't remember who else out there. There's not a whole lot of guys out there that are doing what you and him are doing. You know what I mean? Within the fellowship.
Yeah,
But
and you know,
yeah,
I'm now a part of Geeks and Gamers crew, so
awesome!
yeah,
Congratulations.
so
There you
that's pretty
go.
cool, you know.
All right, make sure you
Um,
get your money's worth, man.
yeah. Well, we'll start off with Tuesday night main event intros, and we'll work our way
Yep,
from there.
there we go, dude. Well, you got the
Do like
skills.
maybe like a daily clip show sort of thing, something like that. You know,
Hmm.
something. A lot of short form content is
Right.
seems to be the way that the algorithm likes.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
not so much
I
stories, but like I mean, Ryan's killing it at the moment. Like he's doing, if he's not on stream, he's doing a video. Like I think he's been
yeah.
on like 150 streams and then done 300 videos in the last, you
Yep.
know, 2 months sort of thing. Like,
Yeah. Like he's been on a roll. He's been on a tear. But you got to do it while it's hot, man. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
and I don't know how much longer. There's so many things that could happen that this could get ripped away from us. You know what I mean? At any time. Um, so you got to go at it while you can, while the furnace is hot. You know?
absolutely.
Oh boy. Yeah. So yeah. I love all the what we've been talking about here with the Squid Game. It's giving me there. Like I said before, I stayed away from all commentary, all like uh, spoilers,
I
everything,
mean,
and so
yeah,
just fresh off the boat.
I heard stuff and saw stuff with the memes, but by the time that it came around,
Right,
the memes made sense, but it didn't spoil anything, and it was
right.
like, ah, okay. Um,
It's crazy. I didn't hear a thing about this at all. It
no,
was
and that's the thing. There was no publicity. This
yeah,
was pure and simply word of mouth. And you know how Dave Chappelle's special was the closer was one of the big ones.
right.
The numbers were accidentally released on purpose
Uh
from someone.
huh.
He got 10.9 million
Uh huh.
viewers.
Yeah.
Squid Game got nearly 111 million.
Wow. Wow.
And you gotta understand,
Wow.
Dave Chappelle's comedy special was considered a smash hit.
Yeah. Well, this is like a mega, mega, mega. Oh, hey, what's up, Canadian Spider-Man? How's it going, man?
Hey, Canadian Vitamin.
Thank you for typing in this stuff. Like I'm drawing here, so
Yeah.
I don't. You're like my sidekick here. um,
Well, every superhero needs one.
oh man, I appreciate it, dude. Like I know you're a really extremely busy guy, and you got all this stuff on your plate, and you still take out the time to do this. I can't thank you enough, man. That's really, really generous
Huh.
of you.
I
Yeah,
said,
to
what a
do that.
mate's for.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Canadian Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm doing something different today. Just working with pencil. This kind of reminds me of my in college uni. I took. It's really crazy. It's one of those serendipitous stories. Is serendipitous the word? I guess you can call it that. It was the first time I'd ever traveled by plane. I was on my way to Japan to do my foreign exchange stint in Osaka, and I had to go through Chicago O'Hare, and I'd never flown on a plane before, and my first airport that I go to is Chicago O'Hare, which is huge, and I jump on like I have to take one of the the little what is it called the tram or the train or whatever it is, the railway. I had to take it from one terminal to another, and I didn't even know where I was going. So I just hopped on a random tram that was going by, and I just went to the like straight to the back. I just kind of like put my head down. I was like, okay, I hope this takes me to the right place. I don't know what I'm doing, and I look up, and right in front of me is this guy, and I'm like, I know this person. I know this person. I know I've seen this person before, and it clicked, and I went, excuse me, are you a professor at the School of Art at East Carolina University, where I was going to at the time? He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, no way. I go to East Carolina University. I'm on my. He's like, oh really? What are you doing here? I'm like, I'm on my way to Japan for a year. And he's like, what's your name? So I told him my name's James Harris. He's like, James Harris, I know you. One of the teachers was telling me about your artwork. I was like, you're kidding me, no way. And he's like, so I said, are you the printmaking professor? He's like, yes, I am. And he's like, when you come back from Japan, come hit me up, take one of my classes. I was like, okay. So I did my stint in Japan for a year, came back, and I took all of his printmaking classes. He's an amazing professor, Mr. Elbeck. Uh, one of the greatest professors out there. Amazing guy, amazing artist. And I took his lithography class, which is where you do drawings on big stones. So the whole just this kind of like feeling, this like this feel is very similar to the lithograph. When you do your prints on
Yeah.
lithograph. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of an anecdote there. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of has that feel to me when I'm drawing in pencil like this. It feels like those lithograph prints that I did when I was back in college. So yeah, there's that. It's just a little side story there.
Oh, I
It
mean,
was
it's
really
amazing
crazy.
how just small little events shape things
Man,
and
yep,
strange coincidences happen.
yep, yep. It is. Um, that's just how it goes, man. And they build up over and over and over again, and you get where you are. Spinning around on this rock.
Yeah, like strange coincidence, like Canadian Spider-Man. We were just in a stream the other day together.
Uh-huh.
And first time that we've seen each other, and now here together. Like,
Yeah. That's just, it's kind of like that field of dreams thing, You build it and
yeah,
they will come.
that's true.
You
If you
go
post
there
it,
and you
they'll
will meet
watch. Yeah,
people. Uh,
and it's just a thing that I've noticed, especially within like myself.
uh-huh.
Um, I've got stuff that I could watch, but I'd rather jump on a stream
Yeah, I hear
when
you there,
someone's
man.
doing it with, even if they've got like 10 people on there,
Yep,
and
yep,
just chat to them and they respond. And it might be something that I'm not even interested in. So if
yep.
it's something I'm not interested in, I'll start doing a Photoshop or uh, another sort of edit or something like that. And
Right. Have it on in
um,
the background.
yeah,
Yeah. Totally with you there, man. Completely with you, 100% there. This is the Squid Game was the first time I've watched a TV series in a long time. I think the
yeah.
the one before that was Primal.
Oh my
Yep.
god, I haven't watched Primal in ages. I watched
Yeah.
the spin off that they did.
For Primal,
Yeah,
there's a spin-off?
yeah. It was set in America.
Really?
Um,
Was it
I
any
had to go.
good?
It only had one season. Well, actually, it was better than the first season of Primal.
Really?
Um, it had the guy that was from Eureka. Did you ever watch Eureka?
No, I haven't.
Um, but the main guy from the original one gets killed off in the first episode, which was quite annoying.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This is you're thinking of wait a second. Are we talking about the same Primal?
I'm assuming so. Let me.
The animation.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry. I'm
Yeah, I'm
thinking
talking
of
about the
the.
animation. Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm.
Yeah. No problem. No problem.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was thinking about the animation by what's his name, the Russian artist who did Samurai Jack.
Tarkovsky.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like the last TV series that I watched, and then I've just been watching like YouTubers, man. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, and I'll go like, should I put some on like a movie or TV show? And I'm like, no, I'll just turn on Nerdrotic or you know Az or whatever
I
Geeks and
mean,
Gamers
that's.
doing. Or,
I was saying something the other day. I said like, I've gotten so many new friends,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and they all seem to stream, and like I can remember getting excited because Wednesday was coming up, so I could
yeah.
listen to BBC while I'm working.
Yes, that's a great
Saturday
show.
morning comes up, so I can listen to,
Friday Night
and
Tights.
then
Yeah,
now like on Saturday I've got like 5 different streams that I'm watching, and I've gotten really good at listening to them at 2 times.
yeah. Oh, I can't do that, man. I've really tried. I've tried so many times to do Yeah, that's
what you need to do, there is a secret.
uh-huh,
Watch the first 15-20 minutes of
uh-huh.
a stream at normal
Yeah.
speed, then go 1.25,
Okay, okay.
and then watch the next
Ah,
20 minutes or so, then go 1.5,
okay.
and then what you do, go back to normal,
Uh-huh.
and it feels so slow.
Slow? Oh, okay,
Oh
okay.
yeah,
I'll have to try that tip. Oh man, this is great talking to you. I'm not even like this is great too because I'm not focusing on what I'm drawing, and it's just like it becomes like what they
it
say in
becomes its
Japanese,
own
mushi.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it just takes on its own life. Like I really like what's going on here down here in this part.
yeah.
Like I'm kind of continuing that. It's like kind of all unraveling or what have you. Um, I don't think I'm going to work too much into this. I'm going to probably just do a little bit more detail down in here in the torso, but not too much. I want the light to be really strong there. And then, I don't know, like not go too crazy into it, not overwork it.
I think that's the main thing as well.
Yeah, yeah, just like not overwork it. But I like your whole idea about like the hand looking like it's moving through time. I'm just going to leave it as it is. That's another thing. Like my professor, the printmaking one I was talking about, he said, if you think it's weird, do it.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, man. LDG of Geeks and Joy. He changed his name, didn't he?
Yeah, actually, LG, we was in another stream. I was in. I think it was the same one with me and Canadian Spider Man. He was in chat, or he was on stream. I can't remember. I've been on so
He
many
used.
different ones.
There's do you remember Robert? Now he's like, what is it? Ice something. What was it? His name was just Robert, and then he changed it to Ice something. I can't remember what it was. And he would
Um.
always come on my stream, and he was always asking me to do an Ice Necromancer. So I did one, but I
Oh
don't think he's
yeah,
seen it.
yeah. No, that was one of the ones that I. That was the stream that I was around for the entire one. I think it was like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah, that one I didn't like. Everybody was really going off in the chat, and I didn't want to end it, but I had to be
Hmm.
like up like within 4 hours after that to go to like a nursery school. So it's like, oh man, I don't want to quit, but I've got to end it here. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, because I remember looking at it going. It kind of reminded me of like John Constantine
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
um style, or like Sting, because
Right,
that's his.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mean Sting from Wrestling Sting?
No, no. Sting from the singer.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
It had this, like, even though it wasn't blonde, but it was like spiky hair and the big thing, and
Right.
then it was just around it. Like, yeah, just yeah. No, that was when I said to you the first time. I said to you, I was like, dude, this is the style that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah, I have a thing where I go from style to style to style to style, and I kind of jump from, and I'm trying to stick to, that one style, but I could see this
Yeah,
being
but I
just,
mean, this is
yeah,
completely different to the. I think
yeah,
just the lines are way more defined.
yeah, yeah,
It's there's perspective to it. Like
yeah,
um it's like it was drawn by a completely different person, but it still has that same
je ne sais
style to
quoi.
you. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I got you, man. It's one
what's
of
what
the, go ahead.
what's the end
Sorry.
goal with this one? Do you ink it or do you just leave it as blue?
Man,
Or
I'm just gonna eat it. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna
dude, I was
totally
gonna
leave it
say
like
don't
this.
change it, man. I
No,
absolutely
no.
love that.
No, I'm not going to ink or do anything to this. And I decided that from the get go. I was like, I'm just going to um, do this drawing and then just leave it as a drawing. Like I decided that from the get go. I'm not going to paint on top of it. I'm going to just leave it like this. And I don't know, maybe this could be something I could do down. There's this guy who did uh, I don't like to call them children's books, but picture books or what have you.
Yeah,
Um, and he worked exclusively just in pencil, and he put it like on like a sepia tone, and just had a really amazing feel to it. And I think this kind of like has those kind of qualities to it. So I don't know. This could be something that I could work with down the road.
yeah. Like it
Um,
has its own life to it. Like
yeah, Like you could see color,
No,
but the color's not there.
Janet, it's not a Borg. It's better than a Borg. It has its own mind.
And Gregory here, Mr. Gregory, he's got a backstory for it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like Anyway, how's your whole comic thing going with your mate and that you were doing?
So he was actually on here in a second. I've been, it's me now. I've been lagging behind on it. What Roger Ryder, actually, the guy's in there, Roger Ryder. He's the one who
Oh
sent me
yeah.
an email. We're working on it together. And okay, so what happened is I came back from Vegas, right? And I was like completely 100% just really, really enthused about everything. And then I went back through the whole quarantine thing in Japan. And I got back here and it just everything got sucked out of me, dude.
Yeah.
It got sucked
Nah,
out.
dude, I get that.
Uh, and and there have been other things that have happened that have kind of, you know, uh, so yeah, I just this past week, I just got a kidney stone. Yay! I had to
Yeah.
get rushed to the hospital by an ambulance because I felt like I felt like I had an alien popping out of my side. It was horrible. And
With,
I've never had a kidney stone before.
without going into too much detail, did you have to pass it naturally, or did they?
Okay, so here's what happened. They told me that I was going to have to pass it naturally. So, um, yeah, I haven't yet. So, I the doctor said that it would take 2 to 3 days or up to a week. So today's Friday, and it happened on Sunday. So that's that. But
Dude, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have said, "Don't worry about doing a stream, dude."
oh
Jesus.
no, this is great. I'm it was stream time. I'm not in any pain right now at all. I feel completely fine. It's so weird. But like Sunday, this past Sunday, it was actually I went and watched Dune, and I went on Saturday. I went and watched Dune, had a great time, had a great day, and then I woke up Sunday morning and I was like, oh man, I don't feel good. It feels like I slept really like on something
It's like
on my side.
it's like you went to bed and you laid on like a book or something really sharp with hard
Yeah,
corners.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then and I was like, oh man, this kind of hurts. And no matter how like what position I got in, it got worse. And it got worse. And I ended up like trying to just, like, all right, maybe I need to go to a hospital because it's getting worse. And then I was like, I have no idea what this is at all. I have no idea what's going on here. And then it got to the point where I was like, I couldn't even stand up. I was like, I got to call an
Hmm.
ambulance. And I called an
Yeah.
ambulance. By the time the ambulance got there, I was just like on the floor writhing in pain, just going, oh my God, what is this? Is something going to pop out of me? What is going on here? And I was trying like my best not to like, give into the pain, but it just got to the point where I was just gripping onto they had me in the ambulance and I was gripping onto what is it, the paramedic's arm. It's like,
Yeah.
this hurts so bad, man. Help me. And they're
Yeah.
asking me all these questions. And I'm like, my name's James. Just get me to the hospital. I don't care.
It's the worst thing I've ever felt.
Oh, it was horrible. It was the worst
Yeah.
pain I've ever been in, without a doubt.
And yeah, when I got to the hospital, they're like, "Oh, there's an option where they can put a little balloon up a certain area and
Yeah.
try and all the other one is you can just pee it." I'm like, I haven't peed for 4 days. This is I, and then yeah, eventually it came out, and as much of a relief as it felt, it was the worst and most satisfying experience of my entire life. Um,
Oh boy.
like just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd never felt gut killing pain. Like I know that
Yeah.
it didn't make a difference of me physically killing into a ball, but it was all that I could do.
Same here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just like,
it was like I was trying to protect the area,
yeah,
and if anyone come near it, like I was legitimately worried that they were going to touch it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh man, I was like, my legs were shaking. I just couldn't stop my legs from shaking. I was like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. What is going
They
on?
they
Yeah.
put these it looked like little shock paddles on my belly
Yeah. Yep.
to
Same
try
here.
and
Yep.
ultrasonic to break it up.
Yep.
Um, but all it did was make me convulse and hurt a lot more.
Yeah. It's not a fun experience. I don't recommend it to anyone at all.
And they're like, oh, well, in the future, maybe don't eat so many citrus fruits and grapefruit. I'm like, dude, I don't eat any fruit.
Yeah.
Just
I was like, asked the doctor too, like, what do you think was the cause of this? I don't know. It could be stress. It could be like a certain kind of calcium in your diet, or it could be this and
yeah,
that and that. But we don't really know.
yeah.
Okay.
Avoid acidic fruits and don't drink too much milk. I'm like, I don't drink any milk and I don't eat a
Yeah.
lot of like at that stage.
It's what it's
I was in my mid 20s. I'm in my mid 20s. I live
why
off
am I
junk
getting
food.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Why is this happening to me?
Yeah,
Yeah, the same kind of thing happened to me with I have a hiatal hernia. I don't know if you know what that is or not.
yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those suckers, and I find out I got it while I was in Japan. I didn't know my first time when I was 19 years old, and I didn't know that I'd had it. I just felt like I had like a constant, like I had those like popping anti-acid pills left and
Mm.
right, like a junkie. I was like, what is going on here? And I got back to the States and I looked up all my symptoms. I was like, I think I have a hiatal hernia. And I go to the doctor and I tell them that. They're like, oh, no, no, no. That's pretty much only, that just basically happens within, middle aged women who are a bit obese or overweight. It's like, really? All my symptoms seem to, well, let's do a test. And they did it. And they're like, oh, yeah, you've got one. You're right. Why me? Why did this happen to me?
Well, I mean, when I think of the Jinja Ninja, I think of a middle-aged woman. I mean, it's just the way that it flows. It's probably the
Exactly.
reason why.
Maybe
Like,
it's because I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, the whole reason behind it. But how you doing on time over there, man? I know it's pretty late for you, right?
1:35 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go at this. I've had a really, really long day. I had like
Yeah,
seven
well,
classes today.
I'll stick around to whenever you finish, bud.
All
So,
right, man. Cool, cool,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much in its final stages here. I'm just putting a little bit of shading in the torso, and it's like the main parts of it are done. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I don't think that there's too much more that I need to.
When you finished with say a piece like that, what do you normally do with them? Do you have like a folder that you store them in? Is it a book? Do you hang them up?
Okay, so right now, actually, I could pull up images, can't I? I'm in StreamYard. Hold on a second. Let me show you exactly what I do. Now, for all of them, I I'm a unorganized person, so I just have like a lot of them in a pile. But what I'm doing now is this. Um, Let me find here. Uh, let's see, where am I at? Instagram. Let me pull up. Okay, so I'll share my page here. Let me do this. Share screen. Okay, and I will do a window share. Okay, so this is a gallery restaurant near my
Yep,
where I live, and I have space up there where I can exhibit my artwork and sell it. So
that's
right
awesome.
now, I've put them in frames, and I've put up 10 of them. But what I'm doing, I'll stop the screen right there. I put the ones that I put up there, I thought were of maybe like lower quality. Um, Not lower quality, but they just weren't, my favorite of what I've done so far. But I'm going to have an exhibition of the other ones in Fukuoka maybe at the end of January. Uh, and Fukuoka is the biggest city in Kyushu, and they're going to have
Yep,
like a DJ party. People are going to come out. So I'm going to get about 20, 30 more, put those uh, up, put those in frames, take those to Fukuoka, and sell them, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
So
And
let's
then
just say, for instance, that piece that you've done right now, when it's completed, or if it's completed right now,
yeah,
how would you how would you go about pricing it? Is it just based on your time, based on
no, I have
how
a
you fit?
size. I have
It's a,
size.
it's sizes. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you what I've got here. I'll share another screen and show you because that's what they do in Japan. And when
Yeah.
you go by like, it's so difficult. Like when you go by like, oh, by feelings or what have you, or time and stuff, it just ends up being confusing. So if you've got like your whole, oh, I do it by size. To be honest, it's a really strange thing. I could spend days and days and days and weeks on a painting, and I'll put it into exhibitions and stuff. Well, like not exhibitions, but like competitions, and it won't get anything. And I could do a painting in a day, and it'll get like a big prize. It's just so
Yeah.
weird. So in the end, it doesn't really matter how much time you spend on it. It's just, you know, it's just one of
When I
those
was
things.
doing my commercials and everything, it used to be per hour.
Yeah,
Um, but the problem was I got really efficient at
yeah,
being
yeah,
able to do it,
yep,
and so a $1,500 job based on my time was turning into a $500 job, and
right.
I was losing business for being good.
Yep, yep, yep. So that's so for
So
me,
then
I just
I
say,
just did I do it per job.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
That's
look at a job, and if it takes me 100 hours to do it or 4 hours to do it, I charge the same thing.
same. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
That's just got to do it. Yeah, this is Excel of my price sheet. This is how I price my pictures. So we go by the frame size
Okay. Yeah.
over here, and it's like an F. And then what I do is I put like yen per centimeter. I'm so stupid. How much
Yeah. Well, I
it
mean,
costs per centimeter. Uh, and then the price is kind of determined by the price the price the ratio goes down the bigger the picture gets, right?
yeah.
Because I
I
can't
mean,
have like a
I mean
massive picture and stuff for $1 million.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So this is if anybody asks for a picture, I just give them this and say, hey, choose your size, or if you want to work with something within your budget, we can talk and like make you know do a little bit of price, you know, haggling or what have you. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, some of the best stuff you'll get is from a haggle. Someone who
yeah,
is
yeah,
passionate about getting it at a certain price, and you're passionate about doing something for a certain thing. There'll be this weird middle ground where you know you'll put
yeah.
in a little bit of extra effort, and by the end of it, they'll throw in a little bit extra. It's yeah.
Right, 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 right. Yeah. So I'm actually working with um, one of my the nursery schools I work at, they want me to do some stuff, and it's a pretty big work. And I told them like, look, I'm not going to charge you the size, you know,
Mm,
that price because just, nobody can afford that price. It's just on there, but we could work together and work out a price that's works for me and you.
yeah.
So yeah,
If something is worth, you know what, I want to do this because I actually care about it, and I'm willing to
right,
do it, and I'm not going to make myself out of pocket, but this is my line. And if you
yep,
can't
yep,
do with that, maybe we can do something in the future. Maybe I can
yeah,
do
yeah,
something a little
exactly,
bit less,
exactly,
or start it off, or maybe I
exactly,
can do the outlines, and you can get someone to come in and finish it off.
right, right.
There's always room.
Right. There's other ways that you could work with it to, make everybody
But I mean, like,
satisfied.
here's the thing: like, someone will watch the stream right now, and they're like, "Well, it only took you like 2 hours to do this. What
Right.
you want to charge fucking $300-400, US for it? What are
It's a
you worth?
skill.
Two hundred
Yeah.
dollars an hour, sort of thing. It's like, but that's not the point. You
Yep.
spent
It's not.
you spent 20 years to be able to do that in this time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because if you didn't have that, you could still do this, but it was going to take you 10 times the amount of
Yep.
hours. Yeah.
Yep. And if you want something of good quality, be prepared to pay for it. Because I mean, that's just what it comes down to, man.
Well, I mean,
There's not everybody.
when we were talking about doing doing my avatar. You set your price, and I
Oh,
went, okay,
yeah,
that's not within my budget at the moment, but I'll make sure that I can do it, and by Christmas I'll have that because I know
yeah,
it's worth it. And
yeah. I
at
need
the
to
end of the
work on
day,
so much. Oh, fuck me.
yeah,
You just reminded me of something I need to work on.
oh,
Ah, I'm so horrible. I should let my emotions get the best of me. I need to get. Well, this is good that we're having this thing tonight because I'm back in my professional mode now. I just hit a wall. I'm over it.
well, I'm happy that I was able to help you at least get over that wall.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. It's yeah. I ain't gonna go into it too much, but you just gotta persevere. Cool.
You do what you
Keep
can
on.
do, and then until you can't
Yeah,
do it, and that's all you can expect from yourself.
yeah. I'm wondering if any of that didn't have to deal with the whole stone thing. But oh
Yeah,
well.
it
Yeah,
does. Uh,
yeah,
when you're in pain, your energy takes over. Like it, it's a trickle effect, and
yeah,
and I mean, plus with everything that happened when you came back from Las
yeah,
Vegas as
dude.
well. So
Yeah, that was a ton of like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Like
mm,
it's like every single turn was like another obstacle that I had to get over, and it was just like it got the best of me, and I ain't gonna let it get me down anymore though. I'm over it.
no,
Time to get back up on my feet, and the Jinja must persevere.
indeed, it was
Yeah.
actually funny because I went back and watched I think it was Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotics live um from Las Vegas,
Oh, really?
and yeah, it was just so weird. It's just like, oh my god, the ginger. Oh, that's old. It's like all these people who I didn't know
Yeah.
when that was going on.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I knew as soon as I saw you and they said, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who you are. Um, as soon as they said the name, I'm like, oh yes, I know who you are. But seeing the faces now,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, and it's weird because initially I was just looking at a bunch of fans who were fans of this, but now I'm looking at people who I've been on stream with,
Exactly. Exactly.
who have got like, it's just
Yeah.
it's awesome. Like,
Yeah. It's really, really, it's amazing. It's a
and
new form of. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
you know what I'm saying, the fact that you were able to come over from Japan, like,
Yeah.
mate,
That was a
ooh,
trick. It was a trick. It was worth it though, man. Every single bit of it was worth it. All of the shit that I encountered, all of the obstacles, everything coming back. It's all worth it in the end. And I just what what I've got to do right now is I've got to make sure that all that experience isn't taken for granted,
yeah.
and that something comes out of that positive.
Well,
Like yeah, go ahead.
and
Sorry.
not just that, we're making sure that people aren't fucking politicizing it and using it as well. Because there
Right,
was
right, right.
those fucking idiots that were on bloody uh the verb, whatever the stupid one's like, oh, it was a super spreader event because
Oh no,
someone
no, it
got.
wasn't at all.
And I'm like, no,
It
don't even
wasn't.
try and
No.
pull that
And
shit.
I didn't even fucking get it there, man. I
No,
know
I know,
exactly where I'm going. Yeah.
yeah.
The super spreader.
By the
Yeah.
time that I was writing stuff in the comments, there was already 10 people above me that had already went, wait a minute, no, don't start this
Yeah.
shit.
No, no. No, that event was man, we need those kind of things. Well, we can't all just sit inside and watch life just pass us by and expect things to just, we got to get out there and talk to each other. We got to see each
Well,
other. We got to interact. We can't
yeah,
just
like
it's so necessary.
my closest friends are people who live on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, I hear you
And
there, man.
it's yeah. I mean, like, if anyone gets it, you get it. Like,
Oh man, dude, completely, man.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah, you get it more than I get it. Like,
I mean, Japanese people are lovely people, great people, but it is very difficult to, especially when you're in like the countryside where I'm at, to get really, personal and close to especially Japanese guys. They tend
yeah,
to be really dedicated to the work and what have you. And
And
you know,
it's not like you don't stick out like a sore thumb
yes,
either.
big time.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
call a
yeah,
spade a spade. Yeah,
yep.
you don't fit the demographic.
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
Man.
Sure. I love the way that you shade and like you skip over the line and it doesn't go like it looks like you're just going back and forth over it, but you're not even touching the line.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like like where you got the gap. Like just
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all just basically like it's all. I'm not even thinking when I'm doing this. I'm like I'm talking to you and the hands just moving.
yeah. No, I know, and that's
Yeah.
like I mean I concentrate on it and I still couldn't get like something that looks like a beam of light going up.
Yeah. I don't have any reference for a
Yeah,
beam
like see
anywhere.
like
I'm
that
just
there
like
you,
kind
you
of
just did it again like back and forth really quick like
yeah.
you lifted it up like for like a millimeter.
I
Yeah.
need you to commentate on all my drawings while I do this and just put a video up like that.
It's like
Like
here he
how
goes.
the
Oh my god, he went over the line. Oh, he did it again. I do it like a '90s WWE style.
yeah. Oh no, he did it. Oh, went over the
Oh,
line.
Picasso would be proud.
I went to the Picasso Museum in Spain. That was fun. He was like a lot of people don't know it, but when he was young, like his father was an art teacher, and he did like realistic stuff, like really. He just man was a genius. Sorry,
Well, I mean, here's the
he's
thing: every kid rebels from their parents in some way or another.
yep, yep. I think there's a story. I don't even know if it's true or not, but I remember hearing about it in college that his father was actually a professional artist, and he was doing a painting in a studio, and Picasso went in there and he painted like a bird or something. It was either a bird's foot or something on the painting, and his father thought it was real and went to like get it off the painting. I can't remember what it was. I could be wrong about this. And his father realized that his son had painted something so amazing that he basically then and there gave up his dreams of being like a world renowned famous artist at that point. That's a story I heard
It's
somewhere along the
crazy.
line.
We
Yeah.
used to always say the joke in art class. Kids always rebel against their parents. That's why Picasso's son invented photography.
Was Picasso's son invented photography?
No, but that was the joke because he's so abstract with his stuff. You know,
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah, the
okay.
kids always rebel
Yes.
against their
Okay, there you go.
parents.
Sorry, I get the
Yeah,
joke. Yeah. Oh man. Doing abstract work, man, that is not an easy thing to do. I went into like an abstract phase and I was trying to uh, dive into that realm of art, and it's it's basic. It's the basics. It's the extreme basics of what art is:
yeah. I don't.
composition, shape, line, rhythm.
I
It's not
don't
easy at
like
all.
abstract. I love surrealism.
Oh man! Speaking of which, I went to the Dali Museum when I was in
Oh
Spain as
yeah,
well. That was insane. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Juan. Yeah, he's commenting about the super spreader thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just man, super spreader this, super spreader that.
That's
Bleh.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Just ready to get back to the old norm if everybody doesn't mind. I think just have to realize that we have to live with it now. Not that I'm a doctor, but I think
But
we have to
yeah, I
realize
mean, the
it's
fact of the
not
matter
going
is,
away.
like, the flu didn't kill anyone in 2020. It's like I can't believe that we killed it.
Look up the Japanese. I looked up the Japanese numbers. It basically doesn't exist here anymore.
It's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't comment. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I've had a talk with many of my students and people around me about that kind of stuff. And yeah, a lot of people realize what's going on, but they're just like, yeah, what can we do? Just follow along, do what we're told, and put your
so
head down.
are you a citizen of Japan or
Oh no, 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 no! It's really extremely difficult to
I know
get
that's
your
what I
citizenship
thought.
over
Like
there.
I wasn't too sure. Like, are
No.
you initially from America or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm initially from America, and
Yeah, I
um,
figured with the accent, but I couldn't quite tell because America has like half a billion accents.
yeah, Yeah, I'm from. Well, my accent's weird. I don't really have a particularly. Um, well, I grew up in Indiana and North Carolina, so north and south. So my accent's kind of neutral.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I know that you had an American flag in your background when we did the birthday stream. So
Oh yeah, yeah. This is my English classroom.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
wasn't. I wasn't too sure what it was, and I know how difficult it is to be a Japanese citizen.
right.
So I wasn't too sure if it was a temporary thing, a career thing, a life goal thing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've got a 3-year visa right now as it is, but hopefully turning that into a permanent visa um,
so
this next go around.
you would like to that Japan is where you want to be.
Well, yes, right now it is. And then I don't know what the future holds. We'll have to see. Now, that recent trip to Vegas had me really wanting to get out and about in the world again. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's all kind of up in the air right now, but I'm going to be here for the moment.
Yeah,
And then I don't know if yeah, who knows? I I don't know where I'm going to be 5, 10 years down the line, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it'll be
I mean, who
interesting to
knows? Who
see.
knows what the world's going to be next week? So
Exactly, man. Exactly.
no, but I
Yeah.
mean, like it's if I had the means and that I'd be moving the family somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you there.
It's just I'm the small town that I'm in. It's okay at the moment, and I've
Right,
got my grandparents. They're
right,
in their 80s, so
right.
um, you want to make sure that they're all right. I couldn't
I
I
hear you
couldn't
there.
imagine being too far away from them because I've been up here for the last 20 years.
Right, right.
Um, but you know,
Hmm. Yeah, it's one of
having
those
having
things, man.
having a kid, you just don't like. Oh, where do you go? What do you do?
Yeah, yeah,
And when places like Florida and Texas are looking like the beacons of hope in the world,
right.
it's like, well, what else can we do? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's
uh,
strange times. Strange times. I'll
I,
go outside. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, I did get an offer to come over and live in Denmark with a
Uh
couple of
huh.
YouTubers. So they're like, oh no, we've got plenty of places. We'll teach you the language. We'll teach you what you need to do to pass citizenship. That's all you need to do. But people don't want to learn it.
Right.
It's like we have healthcare, we have this, we have that, and they were doing the full pitch to me, like just do it.
Yeah. uh, oh, sorry. I got like a little bit of a. Oh, Nerdporials in here. What's up, Nerdporial?
No,
What am I
no, not a
drawing?
for a life form. Nice.
Yeah. Drawing this. I think I'm pretty much. Yeah, I'm just like doodling on it now. Uh, Actually, Mr. Greg Gregory could probably explain to you what it is if you'd
Okay,
like to
so
have another go at it.
what we do is we have this character here who is desperately trying to recapture something within this sphere. We don't know what it was. These beams of light control time, and what happens is you can see from the arms that the light is shining through them. So
I'm
time is
actually
moving
going
different.
through the hands
Time
here
is
as
moving
well.
differently. They're trying to find either capture something new, something old, something borrowed, or something blue. We don't know. Um, but it's the unraveling of time. We don't know if they're a cyborg or if they're a cybernetic organism or a robot. They have, as you can see, very luscious lips. They have teeth, so we can assume that it is cyborg by nature. But due to the constant refraction of time, and the looping of time, they've become something else.
I cannot explain it any better. That was awesome, dude. Yeah, man, we've got this whole story going on here. Gotta make something of it. Yeah, I kind of had like this little light shining through the hands as well. This little specks
You
of
know,
it.
Where
fragmentations of yeah,
under the thumb on the other side, there's like near where the elbow is. There's
right,
also a part that you haven't done. Oh, I like that part. Yeah.
yeah,
So under the thumb on the other hand,
yeah,
there's no definition of the actual elbow, and it looks like
right,
there's light shining through. I like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just kind of I think I think I'm pretty much just gonna call this one finished, and just yeah, I don't know. I don't want to work into it too much. Kind of leave some things to some interpretation, if you know what I mean.
Well, hey, negative space is still working. That's the whole
It
point.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It
And the
may,
fact of
yeah,
the matter is that even before you started, you had a huge amount of work in that negative space
yeah.
that yeah, you barely even used your eraser in this. So
Oh, I don't like using erasers.
yeah,
Erasers I hardly ever use, and in fact, I don't let my students use them a lot because what will happen is you'll do something, erase, do something, erase, do something, erase, and you'll never move
yeah.
forward. So, only places I really like to use my eraser here is to get some like shiny elements, like the light, of course, and then some of these little spots in here. But other than that, I try to stay away from
Like
using the eraser.
for me, one of my favorite parts is you've got that tiny like almost aura like part behind the head, so you can
Yeah,
see that
yeah,
the lights coming from behind.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one thing
and
I chose to kind of maintain. Yeah,
the perspective of the lines as well coming from
yeah,
it, like they draw like all right. So from the top right hand corner, your lines are
yeah.
drawing automatically all the way down to the center of the nose,
Uh
in
huh.
between the eyes, and no matter
Right.
where they draw, it's automatic. The background is automatically drawing themselves right to that face, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's the focal point. Yeah,
yeah. Wow, man, you're you're really good at this. I do it all unconsciously without thinking about it, and you're like, that's the one thing I always say too is people are able to look at my work and dissect it or interpret it or comment on it way better than I can. Like radiating from him. Yeah, yeah, like
well, I mean,
yeah.
in that's the thing. It's like the best filmmakers in the world are the worst film critics, but the best film critics in the world are the worst filmmakers. And
There you go. There you go.
there's got to be an art between the two. Like,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I can look at it. I can look at a thing and interpret it the way that I feel. It might be
Hmm.
completely different, and as we've already discovered, we've had 10 different stories already about this.
Yeah.
Um,
And like Rocky Four, hit the one in the middle.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't know if you get that reference or not, but oh man, yeah. But dude, I really we got to do this again. This is great. Like
yeah,
just doing and
absolutely,
talking
man.
about
Like,
what's going on. But the whole Dune discussion was great. Talk about Squid Game. That makes me want to go back and watch it again. And
well, I
yeah,
and also I think the fact that when you've got something else to talk about, whether you're not trying to be in YouTuber mode,
yeah,
where you're
yeah.
trying to like we've had. I mean, looking at the discussion in the audience, there's uh there's been huge discussion based off what we were talking about, and then
Right,
we're able
right.
to back and forth instead of just trying to. Oh, I'm drawing now. I'm talking to the people. I'm talking now. I'm talking to the people. Yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, I hear that, man. But yeah, I would really. This is just. It's always. It's always a joy and a pleasure. I shouldn't have been off for this long. I don't know when the last time I did this was, but it was too long of a hiatus, and I'll make sure that I get back on here and get things into gear again and start working with my boy Juan and Roger Ryder up there as well because we're working on projects together. I need to get my shit into gear. So my goal is to be doing this full time. That's my
yeah. I
goal.
mean,
That's my only goal right now. It's just doing this full time. Yeah.
if you were doing this like I mean I look at that I can easily turn that into a comic book cover.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like it's just
yeah.
it's I mean it's essentially just adding overlays, um, and shifting things around. Like it's nothing in comparison to what you've done. But like adding that little bit of an extra element to it is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Add it to a
Yeah.
markability. Like I mean, if you could do this for a living, man,
Oh,
like
that's the whole goal. That's like from whenever I was a little kid just drawing comic books, copying Spider-Man, pages, and drawing Wolverine over and over again. It was just like something I wanted to do, and
But I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at the complexity of this face, the neck, like, and different things. That's already way more complex than you're gonna get in a Spider-Man comic. Like,
I yeah.
when was the last time you saw a Spider-Man comic that had that much detail on the cover?
I, I I haven't looked at, to be honest, I haven't looked at any kind of comic books, new ones, for ages. I kind
Yeah,
of stopped in the early 2000s just because I didn't like where the artwork was going. I liked a certain style of art, and whenever it started going away from that, I just kind of put the books down because the story could be amazing and everything, but for me, it's a comic genre is it's two things: it's the story and the art. And
yeah.
if one of them isn't working, then yeah,
It's a visual medium. It's
mhm.
a story-driven medium
Yeah,
told through a visual art. And
yeah,
the
yeah,
fact of the matter is that because it's individual frames and pictures, they all need to connect.
yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
an animation where you can get away with certain things. Um, I don't know if did you see what they did to Ninja Gaiden?
Um,
Oh my god! You know what? I'll
Ninja
see if
game.
I can.
Let me look this up.
Um, they had one that was it was I don't even know how it passed.
Ninja game.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Ninja Gaiden. That's the game. It's Ninjak. Sorry.
Oh no, okay, I know exactly what you're doing. Talking about.
Yeah.
I actually did a live stream where I recreated that spread. I
The
I I I redrew it. I never like I'm not I haven't done a whole bunch of comic book spreads before. So I just went in there with a blank page and just looked at what they did and said, okay, I'm going to take a couple hours and I'm just going to try to see if I could do something better than them. And so I ended up doing it was something I just kind of did at the spur of the moment. Because somebody put it out there, I think it was Gary or somebody who said, hey, why don't you guys go out there and try to do something better? I'm sure you guys can. And I don't know if what I did was better or not, but I only took like a couple of hours and worked on it. And
okay. If
yeah.
you're saying you don't know what you did was better, then I don't think you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm trying to be humble. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll try to find it actually real quick. I know I put a picture of it. Oh,
Oh.
what the hell? It's 12 o'clock and I'm getting hungry. I put a picture of it up somewhere. Oh, here it is. And this is just like a really quick one, man. Here, I'll show you. I'll share this. And it was really, really quick. I'm actually kind of embarrassed to show it, but oh well. Might as well. This was just my really quick rendition of it right there.
Oh, dude, that's a
So I took their
thousand
dialogue and
times
everything.
better.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
did their
god.
dialogue. And Colin, not radioing back is a bad sign, isn't it? Not necessarily. He isn't a chatty fellow to begin with. So I was just trying to think of like the angles and everything. This, however, is a bad sign. You might want to wait out here. No, the last time I stayed behind safely, a large metal, huh? A large metal fella nearly crushed my skull. Suit yourself. And then there's the deer. The deer's in the background with the laser eye. It's got the camera on him. And then they walk into the other room. No. So I did this like in a couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, that is phenomenal in comparison to what it was. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like my little what should we call it? It was the Ninjak challenge.
oh, I mean, that one where it looked like it was almost like a side-scrolling game from the '90s. Like it
Yeah.
was just, oh, I mean, Ninjak was always known as, you know, big ninja jumping at the bloody, like let's say it was a camera with his sword thing and the muscles glaring, there's lightning in the background, there's
Yeah.
rain bursting off them, like it was
Yeah. Yeah.
textured. And then
Yeah.
these things didn't even have shadows. They barely even
Yeah.
had outlines.
It looked like some kind of like um like kind of like I don't know how to describe it, like some kind of Aztec art. Kind of, I don't know what it is. Like this really all profile.
Have you ever
No,
played a game? It's called Gartic Phone. It's a thing where you've got to draw pictures with each other. It's you get 30 seconds to draw something, and it's just purely like outlines, and
yeah,
that stuff is better than what we got. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I made
yeah,
a mate of mine's from Indonesia, and it's his favorite character. And then he just sent it to me. He sent me pictures like this is. He showed me the cover, and the cover looks fucking awesome. And then he
yeah,
showed me the first page, and it's just this is like what happened.
yeah. You got tricked.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Like the whole comic book genre needs to be taken back. You know what I mean?
mm.
Um,
Right. So what are you calling this character that you've just done today?
Dude, I have
W-
no idea. When it comes to like names and stuff too, I get really simple. Like I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, if you have a name, go for it. Great. Um, what were you thinking?
I wouldn't dare put a name to your creation.
People
I
have
just think
before. I'd go with it if it's good.
yeah, I just think that there's a lot of depth and character to this one, and
Mm,
I think this is definitely something that if you can, you should go back to in the future because
yeah,
just from your one image, you've created
a world.
there's
Yeah,
backstories, and there's
yeah.
intrigue. Like yeah,
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like all these pictures. The one thing I need to challenge myself, and Juan, you're out there listening, I know, is doing the character repeatedly over and over to engineer reality.
yeah. Like I
uh,
mean,
hey, what's up, Cold Era? Wait a second, Cold Era. That's who I was talking about.
oh
Robert,
okay, yeah.
right?
Is called Era Robert.
I, I think, yeah, Cold Era, Robert. Got him on here. Finally, I'm going to show him this picture. Darn it. Uh, yeah, yeah. So it's got like this whole like when I every time I work on a picture, I always visualize this huge like world that it's in, and all these characters and all these stories that could be involved with it. I just don't have the like the literary ability like many of you other people out there do to put it. I can put it into drawing, the picture, but putting it into words is a different thing. Um, it's just gonna have to be combination of me doing work and people coming up with the text. If you know what I mean,
Well, it's
using our
something that we
powers
can
to.
all work on.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Let me.
here's the thing, with the state of movies and comics and everything, as Ripper says, we need to create our own universe.
Yep, yep,
I'd rather spend twice as much to see a movie if I know it's
yep.
from someone that I give a shit about.
Exactly, exactly. I'm excited to see what's going to be going on in the Ripper universe, and um yeah, and to be
I
honest, I
mean,
wouldn't mind being a part of it.
if ambition had a face, it would be bloody Rippers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm just going to tell Cold Eric here. I did your ice necromancer. I don't know if I spelled that right or not. I'm horrible at spelling. Oh man, what is going on? I'm so hungry right now. It's all this drawing and talking. It's great. Giving me the munchies. Uh, okay, Cold Era, here you go. I'm going to show it to you. It might not be what you were like, what you were had in mind, but I gave a shot at it because Cold Era was like constantly asking me to do an ice necromancer picture. So this is a shot at it. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. There you go. Let me try to put it up bigger. How do I do that?
Can you
Like
do it full
this?
screen? There we go.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Do full screen. There you go. Yeah, there you go. There's your ice necromancer with all the zombies and everything in it, bringing them back from the dead. Alrighty. Uh, let's see. We get back to normal again. Okay, there we go. All looks good. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
love that
there
one.
we go. All right.
As I said, it reminds me of like a medieval like John Constantine because it even
Yeah.
looks like he's wearing the trench coat. He just needs a cigarette or a cigar in his mouth and it's perfect.
Yeah, I never done anything like that before, but what I always like doing about those kind of pictures are the really small, like all the crowds or people in the background, and just pushing
Well,
it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
fun.
that's what I was saying. Like I
Yeah,
can remember when you're doing it, why are you focusing so much in the background? Because you were like going in there like really small detail. I'm like,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, I want to make sure it's right. I'm like, but how big's the picture? And then you showed me what it looked like in real life. I'm like, no one's gonna know. And you went, I want to make sure it's right.
yeah, yeah. There's so many things in pictures that people are never ever going to notice, but yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like me. I'm doing stuff at the moment with the Tuesday night main event stuff.
Hmm.
And I spent an hour and a half making sure that Jeremy's neck lined up with a tie on a face that I was superimposing. And
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
3 second scene. I know that no one's going to notice the difference.
exactly. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I know. I get it.
yep,
Um,
yep. But it's the perfectionist in us that gets us to do that. And hey,
oh, it
it's our
sucks
bane.
and I hate it. But
It's our
yeah.
bane. Oh man. Hey, Mr. Gregory, I think I'm gonna end it for tonight.
Yep.
I know it's gonna be late your time around there. We've been going on for about 2 hours or so, but I really, 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 really appreciate you doing this, dude. We'll have to do it again. I felt we got a lot from this, and yeah, we should keep on going with the story. If you are more than free to come up with a story if you want to for this, and you know what I mean.
Sure, my
Who
friend.
knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Make sure you jump on Jinja Ninja's Twitter and
yeah.
give him all the likes and follows that you need to.
Yep.
Do you have your Twitter handle that you can put in the chat?
Okay. Let me see. Where is it at? It's right here. I'm horrible about promoting myself.
You got to self promote. That's
There you go. Jinja Ninja, and then uh, yeah, that's the Twitter handle, and then well, you're at my YouTube page, so you know where that's at. Yeah, yeah. So follow me on Twitter. Put up stuff on Twitter. Well, I've been off there for a little bit, but I'm back again. You'll see me. I got a YouTube page, of course, right here, and also I've got a home page as well, but I hardly ever use it. I need to get to updating that again. Is there anything? Oh, do I have anything that you want to put on there, Mr. Grant Gregory? Promote
just
yourself?
Tuesday night main event is the main thing. I'll drop it in the. Actually, I'll just go Geeks and Gamers with my stuff at the moment. So
Yeah. Yeah, so Mr. Greg Gregory's been on fire here. He's part of the Geeks and Gamers crew. He's doing all kinds of videos, editing, like demands.
uh,
He's he's got the stuff. He's got the skills.
alright, so from the chat now. So
Yeah.
yep,
All right. Sweet. Oosh. Oh, is it in there?
it's in there.
Okay. I'm looking at the. All right. Okay, man. Again, thank you everyone for coming out here and hanging out in the chat, checking out the work. Appreciate all the thumbs up and all the comments, critique, and again for Mr. Grant Gregory for putting this all together. If it wasn't for him, uh, yeah, this wouldn't have happened tonight. Really, appreciate him pushing me and getting my ass in gear. So, yeah, man, we'll have to do this again.
For sure, my friend.
And thanks again for all the insight on the picture and the comments and your critique and talking about Squid Game and Dune and everybody out there go check out Dune. It's great, love it. And then next time maybe we can talk more about it. Like after a second viewing, I think it'll be I'll be able to give you some more of the a better critique of what I thought of the movie because the first time I was just mesmerized the whole time. just kind of in a trance. But yeah, I'll go out and make sure
That's
to take some
always a
notes.
good problem to have.
It is. It is a very good problem. Yes. Yes. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it. And until next time, have a good one. What am I doing here?